Zhang Yi used his whitespace storage ability to materialize fresh garments for the newly arrived actress Yang Xia, sparking her curiosity about his power. Before he could leave, Xiao Jia's gentle voice called him back, prompting Zhang Yi to invite Yang Xia into the living room for a meal. While they ate a warm beef and cheeseburger, Zhang Yi laid out his terms. She was to obey him, serve primarily as a decorative presence in his spacious safe house, and share household duties with Zhou Core on a rotating daily schedule, with any extra orders requiring overtime. He mentioned a medicine he had bought from Zhou Hairan that he would retrieve later, leaving Yang Xia quietly embarrassed and uncertain. Later, Yang Xia, trembling but resolute, negotiated the conditions of their uneasy alliance. She demanded that their relationship remain secret to protect her career as a national idol, and Zhang Yi reluctantly promised discretion. She also asked for the right to refuse any demand she found intolerable, pleading for compassion despite the power imbalance. Zhang Yi listened, smiled wickedly, then closed the distance, pulling her into his arms, pinching her chin, and reminding her that she had approached him of her own volition. He warned that while he would not deliberately make her life harder, she must maintain a high level of performance and that the exact limits of his expectations remained ambiguous. The encounter ended with Yang Xia's anger simmering beneath a veneer of helpless resignation, her future now tangled in the fragile bargain she has struck. Zhang Yi sealed a 3-point pact with Yang Xia, granting her a place in his shelter while she wrestles with lingering shame and resentment over his dominance. He leaves her alone in a private room, promising a brief return, and watches her tension melt into a fragile veneer of indifference as she questions his departure. Their exchange reveals Zhang Yi's calculated curiosity about the affluent Yunkai Manor district, and he subtly tests Yang Xia's loyalty by probing her knowledge of the area's wealthy residents. Later, Zhang Yi's conversation turns personal as he admits a lecherous curiosity, asking Yang Xia whether any big-breasted, brainless, simple-minded rich women reside there, only to clarify that his true motive is to find a companion for his lonely friend, Uncle Yu, who prefers a mature, stable partner. Yang Xia, initially offended and fearing Zhang Yi's intentions, quickly shifts to cooperation, offering to locate such a woman. She mentions Zhou Haimei, the celebrated actress of Zhang Yi's youth, describing her as a perfect match for Uncle Yu's preferences. Zhang Yi, whose admiration for Zhou Haimei dates back to his childhood and even his father's fandom, immediately contacts her. Zhou Haimei arrives at the shelter, visibly thinner and bearing the wear of a recent snowstorm, yet her eyes shine with the fierce will to survive. Yang Xia reports that Zhou Haimei has no objections to the arrangement, setting the stage for a new alliance within the shelter as the characters navigate survival, desire, and the fragile bonds forged in the apocalypse. Zhang Yi entered the shelter's common area with a tray of food and placed it before Zhou Haimei. Her eyes brightened at the sight, and after a brief, strained thank you she devoured the meal with a ferocity that betrayed her hunger. Once she finished, Zhang Yi leaned in, his voice low, and asked if she understood the terms of her stay. Zhou nodded, confirming that she knew the shelter was a hidden refuge and that Zhang Yi had secured her a place to live. The conversation turned to the arrangement Yang Xia had brokered. Zhou would become a long-term companion for Uncle Yu, a match she accepted without hesitation, though she had initially assumed Zhang Yi himself was the intended partner. Zhang reminded both women that the shelter's location must remain absolutely secret, warning that any leak would invite greedy thieves and result in death for the betrayer. The women, seasoned enough to recognize the gravity of his threat, pledged absolute discretion. After issuing final instructions, Zhang escorted Zhou back toward the Yuelu residential area, leaving Yang Xia to retreat to her own room. Outside the shelter, the bitter north wind swept across the frozen Lujiang River, its icy breath still howling despite the storm's waning intensity. Across the water lay Shujia town, a modest settlement whose residents had survived the apocalypse by turning to agriculture and, now, ice fishing. A group from Sudong village, led by the dark-skinned, middle-aged fisherman Su Dahai, arrived on the river's surface with sled dogs wrapped in thick coats. Under Su's direction, they deployed heavy ice-breaking sleds, tethered the dogs, and forced the machines through the thick crust, carving a large circular hole. Beneath the shattered ice lay dozens of frozen fish, their bodies trapped by the sudden drop in oxygen. The villagers quickly hauled the fish out, securing a vital source of protein that would sustain them through the relentless cold. The scene shifted to a brief, idle conversation among the villagers as they tended to their haul. Su Manjin, a dog owner, asked Su Dahai whether the city dwellers across the river had perished in the freeze. Su Dahai scoffed, dismissing the urban folk as dependent and ill-prepared, confident that the countryside's self-sufficiency would see them through. Their banter, once filled with references to distant nations, now centered on the stark reality of survival, tinged with a smug disdain for the affluent villa district that glittered on the opposite bank. Yet beneath their bravado lay an undercurrent of uncertainty about the future, a shared awareness that the harsh climate could erode even their hard-won stability. The quiet was shattered when a faint engine roared from across the river, its sound unmistakable to the seasoned fishermen. The noise resembled the motor of a fishing boat Su Dahai once piloted, a sound thought extinct in this frozen world. The villagers froze, tools abandoned, eyes scanning the horizon. Su Dahai's face fell, a mixture of astonishment and dread, as he whispered questions about the timing and origin of the vehicle. The engine's presence hinted at a possible breach of the assumed citywide death, raising a new mystery that lingered in the icy air as the group stared into the darkness, uncertain whether hope or danger approached on the distant shore.